Hello, U10, and welcome to the start of the subject selection process. Firstly, I want to talk to you about the things that you should be considering when you're choosing your subjects. First of all, think about choosing subjects that you have an ability in and that you're capable of doing well in. The other thing you need to consider is what's interesting to you and where do your interests lie. Because if you choose your courses based on your ability and your interest, you're more likely to be motivated. And with increased motivation, usually comes better results. You may also think about career aspirations. Keep in mind future career paths, but be realistic about your choices. You might also like to think about syllabus requirements. Be mindful of how many practical works and major works are required for your pattern of study and the timing of submission. And if you know you're not good with time management, then really think carefully about selecting more than one course that has a major work component. You are able to find out which subjects have these in the subject selection handbook, but it would include courses like visual arts, society and culture, music, drama, and multimedia. Think about the combination of subjects that you're selecting because some courses really complement each other. For example, business services and business studies. If you really want to do business studies, then consider a course like business services. That's a VET course and is a more practical in nature. It will give you a really good understanding of the day-to-day runnings of a small business and what it's like to work in an office environment. If you're going to select a science course like biology or chemistry, also consider adding investigating science. That will also complement those other science courses that you have selected. The other thing to think about are your other commitments when choosing subjects. It's really important to balance your study with outside commitments and influences such as your work, sport, and family. So make sure you consider all those things when you're selecting your subjects because you want to be able to manage your time successfully. Now, just a reminder that the HSC is a combination of your school career. It's the highest educational award that can be achieved at a secondary school in New South Wales. The HSC reports students' achievement in terms of a standard achieved in individual courses, and it will present a profile of your student achievement across a range of subjects. Now, I need to let you know about how the HSC course is structured. All courses in the HSC have a unit value. Most of the courses that we offer here at Gilroy are 2 units, and that's equivalent to about 120 hours in a course and a HSC result out of 100. Some courses that we offer here at Gilroy are 1 unit courses, and that's equivalent to 60 hours of study. And in a 1 unit course, that would be a HSC result out of 50. Many of our 1 unit courses are extension courses. So courses like Mathematics Extension 1, Science Extension, English Extension 1, History Extension, and they will enable 3 or 4 units to be studied in a single course. We also offer 1 unit studies of religion, and that's 60 hours of study and a result out of 50 in year 12. So what are your requirements for the HSC? In year 11, the requirements for the HSC and to be eligible for the HSC, you must complete a minimum of 12 units. You must also satisfactorily complete all of those 12 units before you can start the corresponding year 12 course. So for example, if you do PDHP in year 11, that's a 2 unit course. You must meet all of the requirements for PDHP in year 11 before you can commence the same PDHP course in year 12. In year 12, you must study a minimum of 10 units. And now in New South Wales, the majority of students across the state are completing only 10 units towards their HSC. Just some further information about the structure of the preliminary course is that the preliminary course runs for the first 3 terms of year 11 next year. So term 1, 2, and 3. At the end of term 3, you will have your final preliminary exams, and then the HSC course will start for you in term 4. It will run until the end of the following year. To those of you in year 10 that are wishing to go to university, you will need to attain an ATAR. If you want to apply for uni in 2021 and start uni in 2024, on the subject selection Google Classroom, there is a booklet called Steps to Uni, and that has really valuable information about what are the entry requirements for each of the courses that universities intend to offer people in 2024. Some additional requirements for the HSC include in Year 11 and Year 12, 2 units of English are compulsory for all students in the state. Everyone must complete 2 units of English. So you have a choice out of those subjects which you would like to select based on your ability and prior results. However, you must complete 2 units of English, and you must have at least 6 units of board developed courses. If you look at the Steps to Uni booklet, there are tables in that booklet that clearly identify which courses are board developed courses and the courses that you would need to include in your Year 11 subject selection process. You need to also consider that these selections are irrespective of whether you want to go to uni or not. Just to attain the HSC, you need 6 units of board developed courses. So English is already 2 units, and then you need another 4 additional units of board developed courses. And you must have at least 3 courses of 2 units of value or greater, and you must have at least 4 different subjects. So English is a subject, for example. Within English, you can do English Extension 1 and English Advanced, which will come to a total of 3 units in English. But you will have to have 4 subjects. So then you need to add to that another 3 subject areas. You can only study a maximum of 6 units of science in Year 11 and a maximum of 7 units of science when you get to Year 12, because there's an extension science course that you can pick up in Year 12, and extension science is not available to Year 11s. It's only a Year 12 HSC course. From 2020, students need to demonstrate that they've met a minimum standard in literacy and numeracy to be eligible for a HSC. Further details about meeting minimum standards will be distributed throughout this year, and Year 10 will have opportunities in Year 10, 11, and 12 to meet the minimum standards through testing. Should you not meet minimum standards for literacy and numeracy over Year 10, 11, and 12, you can still attain an ATAR. Universities will still allow you entry into university with an ATAR. However, you will not meet the requirements of a HSC if you don't meet the minimum standards. So there are different types of courses that are offered to Year 11 students. Those types of courses include board developed courses, as I mentioned earlier, and remember that you need 6 units of board developed courses in your selections. And then there are board endorsed courses. Board developed courses have a HSC exam in them, with the exception that it is optional in English Studies and Mathematics Standard 1. Mathematics Standard 1 and English Studies are board developed courses, but if you choose to study these courses when you get to the HSC, there is an exam that is optional which you may choose to select. VET courses also have an optional exam, but are board developed courses. These are also Category B courses, and I'll mention that in a moment. Board endorsed courses do not have a HSC examination and have school-based assessment only. Board endorsed courses cannot be included in the calculation of a student's ATAR and include some VET courses, and here at Gilroy include subjects such as photography, VET fitness, and studies in Catholic thought.
All life skills courses are board developed courses. So if you're going to undertake a life skills course, then it is a board developed course. If you are undertaking a life skills pattern of study or a life skills course, you would not be eligible for an ATAR. And then there are Category A courses and Category B courses. Category A courses may be included in the calculation of an ATAR, and they have a compulsory HSC exam in these courses. Category B courses have optional HSC exams for some of those courses. And it's very important to understand that you cannot have two or more units of category B courses included in your ATAR. So if you wish to go to university and to keep the option of university open at this stage, my recommendation would be don't do more than one category B course. So that would include courses such as construction, business services, hospitality, entertainment, or English studies, or mathematics standard 1. So you only have one of those 2-unit courses contribute to an ATAR. So if you do have a combination of those courses, you are not going to be eligible for entry into university. So the ATAR is the Australian Tertiary Admission Rank, and that's determined by students who wish to go to university. It is a rank, not a mark. So when you hear students say that they achieved an ATAR of 90, it is not an average of 90% in all of their HSC results. It is typically when students get an ATAR of 90, we usually indicate that that student achieved in the top 10% of New South Wales students in that particular HSC cohort. And it provides information about how a student performs overall in relation to the other students. Some additional requirements for the HSC courses. If you're going to complete the HSC, you have to complete at least 50% of the assessment in a course, and that's mandated by NESA. And you need to sit for and make a serious attempt at any HSC exams in a course that's offered. So now I'd like to go through some key features of some of the courses that we are offering here at Gilroy. So next year in year 11, these are the English courses that you can choose from. English Advanced. In English Advanced, you may also have the option to study English Extension 1 as an additional 1-unit course. So you would study 3 units of English in year 11. If you would like to undertake English Extension 1, keep in mind that it must also be studied with English Advanced. We are also offering English Standard and English Studies. Remember that English Studies is a Category B subject, which does have the option for a HSC exam if you want to go to uni. But remember, if you want to go to university, you can only do one Category B course. We will also offer Life Skills English, and that is for students that are already or just undertaking a life skills pattern of study, and they are typically students that are on a PP and working with a case manager. Further details about life skills courses are provided on the subject selection handbook on Google Classroom. And you can also speak to your case managers about potential life skills courses that you might be interested in. But for most students in year 10, life skills are not an option for study in year 11 and in year 12. The courses that we offer at Gilroy in year 12 include English Advanced. For those students that are doing English Extension 1 in year 11, you might continue to do English Extension 1 and Advanced, and you might also choose to add English Extension 2 to your pattern of study. Now remember, you can only pick up English Extension 2 in year 12 if you've already studied English Extension 1 in your year 11. In year 12, we also offer English Standard, English Studies, and English Life Skills as what was offered in year 11. The mathematics courses we offer here at Gilroy in year 11 for next year include the Mathematics Advanced course. And that's for those students that are typically undertaking 5.3 maths currently in year 10. For those students who also who select Mathematics Advanced, Mathematics Extension 1 is the highest level of maths that you can undertake in year 11. And if you choose to do mathematics extension 1, you would also do that with the maths advanced course. So you would have 3 units of mathematics in your year 11 mathematics course. Mathematics standard course in year 11 is for typically those students that wish to continue a study of mathematics, and it is more practical in nature than the theoretical mathematics advanced and extension 1 courses. In year 12, those students that have undertaken mathematics extension 1 in year 11 may choose to add an additional 1 unit course to the HSC course and study mathematics extension 2. If you didn't do extension 1 in year 11, you would not be able to pick up extension 2 in year 12. For those students that study mathematics standard in year 11, when you get into year 12, you have the option to continue in mathematics standard 2 or mathematics standard 1. Keep in mind, as previously mentioned in mathematics standard 1, it is a category B course, and you can only have one of those if you wish to attain an ATAR. There is also the new numeracy course. This is a content endorsed course and is not eligible to be added to an ATAR. Here are some additional courses that we offer in year 12 only. You are not able to select these subjects in your pattern of study for year 11, but are available in year 12 and would include history extension. For students that take either of the history courses in year 11, whether that's ancient history or modern history, science extension is offered as an extension course to year 12 students that are undertaking any of the science courses offered in year 11. And there is also an extension course available for selected languages, which are offered externally through either Saturday School of Community Languages or New South Wales School of Languages. Life skills courses are designed for a small percentage of students with special education needs. Life skills courses, as mentioned previously, have board developed status. They will contribute to the attainment of the HSC, but won't contribute to the calculation of an ATAR. So be very careful when you are selecting your courses that you do not select a life skills course unless that is recommended to those students that are undertaking a PP and are working with a case manager. So what sort of HSC credentials are you likely to see at the conclusion of year 12? So during year 10, 11, and 12, NESA, the New South Wales Standards Authority, maintain your HSC record and your record of student achievement over year 10, 11, and 12. In year 12, you'll receive a HSC testimony that looks like the one that's on the screen. At the moment, over year 10, 11, and 12, at the end of each stage, and at the end of year 10 this year, we are going to send in your grades to NESA, and that will be recorded on a record of achievements, like the one on the far right-hand side of the screen that you're looking at the moment. At the end of year 11, we send in your preliminary course results, and that is maintained by NESA. Your final grade for each of your year 11 courses, and in year 12, we send in your final marks to NESA, and that is recorded on a record of student achievement like that on the screen. At the moment, please keep in mind that if you are intending to go to university and you apply for early entry, universities will ask for access to your record of student achievement, your year 10 and your year 11 ROSA transcripts, or your ROSA grades. And usually they make early offers to students based on your results. So it's absolutely important that you try your very best at all times in year 10 and in year 11 if you wish to undertake university in 2024, because you are putting yourself at an advantage of acquiring an early entry offer. So what other things do I need to consider for my future, and which pathway is going to suit me best? It's really important that you take advice from your teachers, your parents, and your year coordinators when you're making decisions about your courses for next year. As I said earlier, keep in mind future career paths, but be realistic about your choices and think about what your strengths are. If you have opportunities to speak to teachers or other year 11 and 12 students or your parents, make sure you take on any of the advice offered by these people when you're making your final decisions. We have also set up your Year 11 Google Classroom subject selection page. And on that page, there are opportunities for you to post questions in the stream, and the teachers that are monitoring that Google Classroom page will get back to you at their earliest convenience. Things not to consider when you're choosing a subject. Please don't think about what scales best. The talk about chemistry, physics, and extension maths are all subjects that are going to get you a high ATAR are wrong. What if you're not good at those subjects? We advise you to do subjects that you're good at and what you're going to do well in, and that's the only way to maximize your ATAR. Don't consider how the subject scales, because if you get a really poor result in a subject like physics, chemistry, or extension maths, that's not going to contribute very favorably to your ATAR. So of course, if you do well, that's going to make a difference. So do subjects that you're going to do well in, and don't choose a path because of a teacher. It's not a recommendation, because lots of things can happen in terms of staffing in 1 year. In stage 6, it can change from 1 year to the next. So don't assume that a teacher who's currently teaching a course will be that same teacher next year. Don't choose subjects also based on what your friends are doing. You might not even end up in the same class as your friends. So make decisions based on what you're good at, what you're interested in, and what you think you might want to do when you leave school. They're all good reasons to consider subjects. You've also got different levels of study. Students considering doing extension English or mathematics are required to meet a minimum standard performance in Year 10, and you should be talking to your teachers in English and in maths about what their recommendations are for a course that for you for the next year. Students usually cannot drop an extension course in the preliminary year if they are doing 12 units, because you've got to meet the minimum requirements of 12 units for year 11. Remember, students may only change maths or English courses throughout year 11 if there is space in the other classes. So for example, if you start in mathematics advanced and choose part of the way through year 11 to move to mathematics standard, you can only make that change if there's enough space in the mathematics standard classes. Subject teachers and the leaders of learning should be consulted in the part of the process when you're selecting your courses for the next year. So what is the process of subject selection going to be like when it becomes live on Tuesday, the 2nd of August this year? And it will close on Wednesday, the 10th of August. No students are going to have access to selecting subjects after that date. So we're going to give you plenty of time beforehand to speak to people, make decisions, so that when that goes live, you will have time to put those selections in before the cutoff of the 10th of August. All students are going to be sent an email to your school Gmail account with your access code, password, and a link to your subject selection form. And I'll show you what that's going to look like shortly. Students can make up to 5 changes online before the cutoff date on the 10th of August. And English and religion courses must be selected, and studies of religion is recommended for an ATAR. So you have to choose an English course and you have to choose a religion course. And if you want to go to university, our recommendation is choose our studies of religion course, whether that is a 1 unit or a 2 unit course. Can I just remind you, mathematics is not compulsory at Gilroy or for the HSC. Students are encouraged to think carefully about the order in which you will preference your subjects online, and I'll show you what I mean by that shortly. And you must choose 3 reserved preferences. So this is what the Web Preferences Access Guide is going to look like. This is what the Web Preferences Access Guide looks like. And this is what you'll be sent by Gmail to you when you receive this. Remember, it comes from Web Preferences. It doesn't come from Gilroy. It doesn't come from me, and it will have your name at the top of the Web Preferences Access Guide. It's not going to have my name. It will have your name. You will click here when you see this in your Gmail. When you click here, you will also be given an access code and a password. And this is how you can get into your subject selections. So that will take you to a screen that looks like this. This is the Web Preferences subject selection page. You need to hover over this button here. When you hover over it, you'll see an image come up on that screen that says click here. You click here and that will take you to the subject selections page. And you will notice it says English and religion because these are compulsory subjects. You must select an English course and then you must select a religion course. Then you must make a total of 12 or 13 in your main units. It's very important that you think carefully about the order in which you put these subjects in. So if you really, really want to be considered for English Extension 1 or Mathematics Extension 1, that it is really what is most important to you, you need to make that priority 3. If you really want to do geography, that is the most important subject to you, you make that your first selection as priority 3 after you selected your English and religion courses, and then so on and so forth. You must continue to select courses until you come to a total down the bottom here of 12 or 13 units. Once you've got 12 or 13 as a total here in your main unit, you need to come across and select 3 reserve units. The reason we ask you to select 3 reserve units is often there will be students that will not be able to come to be timetabled for all of the units that you requested. That could be because some of these courses end up running at the same time, or in some courses there may be a lack of interest. And if we don't have enough student numbers, some courses may not run. So that's why it's essential that you select 3 reserve preferences once you've completed 12 or 13 units here, and you have completed your 3 reserve preferences, then you need to come down to the bottom and select the submit press. You need to press the green button that says submit at the bottom of your screen. Then it takes you to a page that looks like this. This is for you to verify and double check that all of the units that you've entered, including your reserve preferences, appear on the screen. You haven't finished the process yet. Please ensure you've checked all your preferences. You go to the top and submit the valid preferences by clicking this green button. Here, should you fail to select and submit this green button, then your preferences will not be stored, and that once you have selected all of your subjects and your preferences and your reserves, and you have validated your selections, you will be taken to a screen that looks like this. It will show you a total of your main units and list your 6 units, and it will ask you to please get the form signed and returned to school. So you need to then print this form, ask your parents to sign at the bottom of the form, and you will need to drop this into the note box at student services at your earliest convenience. Obviously, during lockdown, that this will not be required, and further information about this selection page will be provided at a later date. If you don't see this screen, it means you haven't completed the process. So please be aware that the number of classes to be run in a subject would depend upon the number of students who select that subject in their preferences. If the school decides not to run a subject because we don't have enough student interest, then it may be replaced by one of your reserve subjects. You may be allocated a reserve preference if the timetable software allocates two of your preferred courses on the same line. So this is why the order of your preferences is really important. Please be aware if you intend on studying a course externally, such as a language or School of Now course, and you'll need to select 12 or 13 units to study here at Gilroy, in addition to that other subject. Some courses also may be offered through School of Now by the Catholic Education Diocese of Parramatta. As that information becomes available, it will be communicated to students. You must also be aware, as long as you already have your 12 or 13 units selected here at Gilroy, you may still be able to express your interest in applying for one of those external courses, such as a language, TAFE, or virtual classroom course, such as School of Now. If you need more information, please speak to your teachers or specialist teachers in the college. Make sure you read through the information in the subject selection handbook very carefully, and remember you can ask for further information through the Year 10 Google Classroom page. And there is additional information also in the Steps to Uni booklet. Once you're satisfied with all your subject selections online, please print your selections, attain a parent or a guardian signature, and then return that printed copy to the note box in Student Services once schools are reopened. If you could please print that receipt, we will notify all students in writing about your Year 11 subjects, and students will be interviewed from the end of this term if there are problems. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to forward those questions to the email address on your screen and attention me, or as I've said throughout the presentation, post your questions on the subject selection Google Classroom. Thank you.